D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished the latest episode of Peacemaker. And I have to tell you guys right now, I do really like this show. I think that me and James Gunn, I think we have the same kind of sense of humor. I think that he's good at writing. And I think for the most part, I've liked everything he's done. If I haven't liked it, it's because I don't remember and I don't, or I didn't see it. So, but this show is really good. I really like it a lot. I'm glad I have HBO Max for it. I'm glad they released it because my subscription is up in March. Because I got it. I got the annual thing. Yeah, real quick story. Just give me 20 seconds of your time for this. I bought it. So they hate when you do this streaming services, but I bought one of those like prepaid credit cards or whatnot. And I put just enough on there to pay for 1 year, like the annual fee or whatnot. And then they expect you to forget your subscription so they can just recharge you. And so this way they can't recharge you because there's no funds on the credit card. So I do it. That's how I pay for streaming services that I don't want to forget or whatnot, or I want to like test the waters and just get like a month. And I don't want to do it because that's what they expect you to do. Oh, so anyways, back to this show. So I think it's really good. HBO Max has been, in my opinion, worth it to this point. I mean, they have the best content in my opinion, because I'm a DC girl. They have all the DC stuff on there. Me and my kids, I introduced them to Batman, the animated series. We watched that on there. I watched all their movies that they released in 2021 and everything. So I'm excited for more TV shows based on the DCEU. And I hope Peacemaker gets a season 2. And we'll see if it does. Now, as far as this episode goes, I'm glad that we're getting a little bit more of the butterflies. I'm curious to see, though, where that storyline is going again. I just hope it's not like a Starro situation, just because, like, aliens taking over human bodies and then, they die if you take the alien out kind of thing. But yeah, we got a little bit more about how they work and everything. We just don't know what their end game is. Plus I liked some of the concepts that they have in here with talking to the, making Peacemaker not just Peacemaker, but Chris Smith, and just kind of like more like humanizing him a little bit. He's not just a dude bro or a chat. Okay. And saying all of that, I'm going to get to this breakdown. But before I get started on this breakdown, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just get shoved straight to the back of the line. So I suggest that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now that I've got that all done with, let's get started on this breakdown. So it starts off, because you remember last episode, he was drinking heavily. And so he's making a little cocktail of his own, of his after morning, hangover cocktail. I have my own regimen that I do if I have a hangover. It's usually I just take, a bunch of pills like aspirin and acetaminophen, and then I take Midol. Because Midol, ibuprofen and then Midol. Midol, women take it for their periods if they're having, cramps and stuff. But you guys, it has caffeine in it. And you ladies have been sleeping on Midol, not telling us guys and everything. I found that out and I was all like, the first time I took it, I was like, man, I am pumped. I'm pumped and everything. So he drinks an egg with some stuff in it. It didn't look, and greasy. I need greasy breakfast after my hangover. He should have had some like hash browns and eggs and something, and bacon or something like that. Anything, a bunch of grease usually helps me out and get over a hangover. Anyways, so he gets all that stuff. He feeds the little guy, and then Eagle comes in. And then he flies off to capture something, and he brings it to him. He's like, I'm not going to eat that, but thank you for the gesture. And he's like, you eat it. And Eagle is super cute. I love that Eagle. Anyway, so what is her name? Adebayo. Her wife shows up, and she's like, you had me leave. What's going on here? And she's like, I'm really late for work. She's like, are you in trouble? And she's like, no. And she's like, are you trying to do something? I can't remember exactly. And she's like, no, I'm just really late for work. I gotta go, kind of thing. So she gets to work,
And she gets the text from Mom, and then it says, "Have you placed the diary at Peacemaker's yet?" And I'm curious to see what exactly the diary is going to do as far as Peacemaker goes, but we'll see. So then we get all these guys, they're sitting there at this table, and they're learning about the butterflies. And we learned that it started out with a pop star and a billionaire that were on a plane and it crashed, and then they found the butterflies inside their head. So then they realized that's how they first got a hold of the butterflies, and then or got a hold of the information about the butterflies. And then they realized that it started. They infected, heavy hitters like pop stars, influencers, politicians, and entrepreneurs and stuff. And they made this thing about how the butterfly infiltration, and it gets to an orifice, and then they're like, "Does he really enter through the butt and everything?" And he's like, "The butt is an orifice," and I was like, "That's super funny." And then they talk about how Superman has a butt fixation, and I'm all like, "I don't get it, but I think it's a reference to the recent comic book, maybe, about how he was like raped and stuff," which I'm like, I don't know. I didn't get the reference. Maybe it's beyond me. I don't know. Maybe I didn't read that comic book, or they're just making fun. So then they talk about how this yellow stuff, this honey stuff is, they don't know where it's coming from or what it's made of, but they did find out that at A.R.G.U.S, she did find out this company here, and that they're going to infiltrate this company, and that they're going to go and check it out. So then he sits there, so he says something about along the lines of, "Dyer is crappy at PowerPoint. Like, his PowerPoint sucks and everything." And he's all like, and then he's like, "I'm sorry that I framed your dad. He's the only person I could think of." And then he's like, "You could have thought of a million other people." And then he just started naming everybody under the sun, including Howard Stern, Baba Booey, and Robin Ophelia Quivers. I used to like them, but they got a little weird on me. And he literally names like everybody under the sun. And he's like, "All right, fine. The next time I'm going to Brains on I'll use one of those." He even named Ariana Grande. That was great. I loved it. So then he's this guy's asking, so he's like, "Do you guys want to be here all night?" And he's all like, "Do we have cable? Because if we don't have cable, it's gonna be." He's like, "It was a rhetorical question." He's like, "Okay." And then he says, "He did Dick Dyer." And he's laughing, and so he leaves. It was very funny, very funny. So then we hop over to Racist Papa, the White Dragon, or Augie, I think his name is. August is probably his real name. I don't remember. I didn't look it up, and I honestly just don't care. So, and he's like, "I didn't do it." She's like, "That's interesting." Because your fingerprints matched out, and the car was there, and he's like, "That's not my car." And they're like, "It's registered in your name," and then they're like, and we have two eyewitnesses that say you were there. And he's like, "It was my son." He's like, "Take my fingerprints and compare them to the fingerprints you found at the scene, and they won't be mine." And she's all like, "Okay." So back here, she's talking to Peacemaker and everything, and they're talking about him nicknaming kids in high school. How his brother's name was White Knight or Sir Lancelot or something like that. And basically because his penis was shaped like a lance. And I was like, okay. And then like they named him Thimble, and he's like, and he was all like this and everything. He's like, "I didn't hit puberty until my late 20s. And I was like, "What? That's insane. I don't think that my voice has hit puberty yet, but one day. Ooh, one day." And then he's all like, "I was bullied in high school too." And he's like, "How so?" And he's like, "I was called bully. And it really hurt my feelings." And I was like, and I like how Vigilante was all like, "Well, I didn't hurt my feelings because I don't have feelings. I have emotions like normal people and everything." It's very funny. So then she gets the fingerprints from him, and this cop is all like, "Do you want me to take a picture of it and send it to you?" And she's like, "Yeah, just," and he's like, "I'll airdrop it." She's being very dumb, and I'm all like, "How are you a cop if you're not somewhat smart?" So then they're on their way, and they're listening to a lot of rock music, and then they're rocking it out and everything. She's like, "All right, I've had enough." He's like, "You want some pop rock?" And she's all like, "How about we listen to some," and then he's like, "You want to listen to some White Snakes?" And then he's like, "You want to listen to some Hanoi Rocks?" She's like, "Who is Hanoi Rocks?" And I looked it up. Hanoi Rocks, right here,
Hanoi Rocks were a Finnish rock band formed in 1979, and they were the first Finnish band to chart in the UK, and they were also popular in Japan. And the band broke up in June 1985 after drummer Nicholas Razzle Digley died in a car accident during their first US tour in December 1984. Yes, that is from Wikipedia. I just repeated it verbatim, but I don't know how else to put it and everything. And so they were sitting there talking about it, and Diebeard and Peacemaker, they connected over this band and everything. And I thought that was great. And I just have to say right now, before I get back to the breakdown, everything about this band I am all in for. Like, I mean, I know some people don't like like Whitesnake and all those kind of thing, and the big hair and the makeup and everything. The look is not 100% my cup of tea, but it's just fun. And I mean, I'm all about the music and everything because I'm pretty sure they're great. I'm definitely going to look up their music after this one, especially 11th Street Kids, which we'll talk about in just a second. But yeah, I thought it was fun, and just a fun little kind of thing that to look into. So then she's all like, he's like, they were the first band to do the first pop rock band or whatever. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. It's so weird that they haven't been able to been recognized for all that they contributed to society. And then oh gosh, I keep forgetting her name. Anyways, she's all like, yeah, there's a Martin Luther King Jr. Street. It's so weird that there's no Hanoi Rock streets and everything. And then he's all like, he pulls out a tattoo, and Vigilante's like, Live Street Kids. And he's like, it says 11th Street Kids. He's like, that's one of their best songs. He's like, yeah, I got this after I saw him in Finland in 1979. I got this tattoo and everything. So they kind of connected over that, which I was happy because, Edamame, whatever her name is, she was all like, you should treat him better. You should, because you're hurting his feelings a lot. So they get here to this place where the butterflies are, and they get ready to go in. So then Mern, I don't remember his first name. He gets a visit from this guy.
And this is Captain Locke, which we'll find out later on. But he shows up, and I'm not sure if he's a comic book character. I didn't look it up before this. But I do like the actor that plays him. He played, he was in Smallville. He played Supergirl's dad. I can't remember. But yeah, super fun. So he's sitting here talking to him, and he's like, Mern is, he's like, I haven't seen you since, I can't remember what the place was called, but he's like, yeah, I haven't, I'm a changed person and everything. He's like, I need, he's like, Waller called me and said that you needed help. And he's like, yeah, but I don't, he's like, I need a little more finesse. I don't need your usual, sledgehammer routine. And he's all like, hey, he's like, I'm going to help you out. Don't worry, I'm going to help you out. And he does. So then back at the precinct, the two detectives, they are looking at the fingerprints, and they realize that it's Christopher's fingerprints, not his dad's. So she's Detective Song is like, we need to go talk to some eyewitnesses. So they get there. As soon as they open the door, they look at him. He's like, hey, listen, he threatened us and everything. And then his wife's like, yeah, you total pussy and everything. I loved it. And they're like, and he's all like, yeah, that's the guy. That's for sure the guy. And she's like, I don't know. It doesn't look like the guy. And he's like, stop lying. It's the guy. And she's like, ugh. So then, they go back to the station or whatnot because they're going to get Augie out of prison. So then they're getting ready, and they're going in and everything, and they're like, Peacemaker and her, they're like, you two are going to go in together. Leota is her name. Adebayo is her last name. But they're going to go in together, and then the other Vigilante and Hardcore are going to go in together. Sorry, guys. I'm going to stop focusing on their names so much because I'm getting annoyed. They have too many names. Okay, so they're going to go in, but she's like, you can't bring in the chainsaw. And he's like, I really wanted to kill somebody with a chainsaw. And I thought that was funny. Vigilante makes me laugh a lot in this show. So they go in, and she's like, listen, be chill. I'm just going to talk to him. Promise you're gonna be chill. He's like, I'm gonna be chill. So they go in, and he's like, X-ray vision on. And he walks up, and she's like, hi. And he's like, what can I do for you? And then bam, right in the head. And then he bam. He just starts killing all of them. And she's like, what are you doing? And he's all like, I got X-ray vision. I can see right into their skulls and everything. And the butterfly is coming out, and she's like, I thought you were gonna be chill. He's like, I am chill. So then they're going through. These two go in the back, and they're going through the warehouse and everything. And they open up a box, and it's full of nothing but that honey-colored goopy stuff. They're the stuff that the butterflies eat. And she's like, this is a warehouse. This is probably for the whole country. So then he's going through killing people, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And so they go through, and they're watching the distribution and stuff like that, and the fluid being made and everything. And then she gets spotted. She's like, oh, crap, I got spotted. And it's like, very much body snatchers scream. And so they all start chasing after him, and they get behind this fence and start shooting him or whatnot. And then they run into this room, and they lock it and everything, but it's a big metal door with a big lock on it, but they still start punching through the metal. She's like, hey, we're in a control room of some type, and Leota is all like, yeah, we're on our way. So as they're going through, they shoot this guy, and he's all like, your friends are with Charlie. They won't last long. He's all like, who's Charlie? And he's all like, he's your guardian angel, and he's like, not for you and everything. And so they're sitting there they're figuring all this stuff. I don't know if any of this means anything. I mean, I was looking at it, like, I was zooming in and stuff, and I was like, I can't figure it out. If you can figure it out, tell me what it means, because I was like, I don't know what this means. And so they're like, they hear a noise and everything, and they're like, oh my gosh, and then they get knocked out. And he's all like, hey, guys, they need help kind of thing. So you see all these people, these aliens outside, and he gets a hand grenade attached to a tank missile thingy. And she's all like, why not just a hand grenade? And he's like, a hand grenade will only kill like 2 people. And he's like, this will kill way more. And she's all like, how many more? And he's like, I don't know. I made it up this morning. So he just throws it, and then he's like, run. He's like, peace, motherfuckers. And then he runs, and he's like, come on, let's go. And so she chases after him, and then they get blown up, and she's later on, she's all like, he's like, guys, are you okay? And she's like, you could have been like, hey, Leota, run. And he's like, I thought that's what I said. So then they go into the thing, and she's like, gorilla! And this big gorilla. And if you remember correctly from episode 2, I believe, don't quote me on that, I can't remember, or maybe it was the last episode, where he goes to his house and gets all the helmets, his dad's house, and gets all the helmets. There was that thing about the gorilla on the news. And obviously the butterflies have stolen the gorilla and put a butterfly in it, because he starts wailing on him. He's just beating him up and everything, throwing stuff at him. And Peacemaker jumps on his head and starts punching him, but then he throws him off. And he's about to, he's like, die, humans! And then all of a sudden you just hear, and blood starts splattering all over here, and he's all like, ah, and everything. And there's Diebeard, and he's just got the chainsaw killing him. I was like, ugh, gross. I don't like blood. Blood grosses me out like hardcore. That and fecal matter, friggin' gross. I'm just like, I can't do it. And he's like, thanks, man, and everything. And then they're rocking it out and everything. To what I assume is 11th Street Kids, but I didn't check it out. By the way, Vigilante, horrible dancer. And they're all like rocking it out, and he's like, hey, hardcore, not too bad, huh? And she's like, not too bad. And then they're rocking it out some more. Yeah, he's like horrible dancer. But I do like this actor. And they're having a good time and everything, and she takes a picture of him. And then they're just, going back. So then he gets put back in jail, and she's like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, he found out he wasn't going to get out anytime soon. And she's like, what? And so she goes to her captain, which is Captain Locke. And she's all like, where's Captain so-and-so? And he's all like, they've been moved. I'm your captain. And she's all like, listen, the fingerprints were not a match. And he's all like, are you a fingerprints expert? Do you have an expertise in fingerprints? She's like, no, I don't. He's like, well, then you must be wrong. And she's like, listen, he's like, why don't you go ahead and go home? Because you've had a rough day. And she's all like, no, I think he's like, that was not a request kind of thing. And then he calls somebody, and he's like, I think he calls him, he's like, it's handled kind of thing, which we find out later, probably won't read it. And then, so they're all, congratulating themselves. And they're all super happy. they realize that they can, the butterflies can take over any living organism, and then Vigilante's like a chihuahua, and they're like, I don't think it's big enough. Like the brain is probably too small for them to fit in it. So then they all leave or whatnot, and I can't remember what he says here. Shoot, sorry guys. So then these two detectives, she's like, this judge is a good judge. He'll get us a warrant. And he's all like, how do you know? And she's like, well, he's also my stepdad. Or my uncle. He's my uncle. He's like, hey, sweetie. And she's like, hey, Uncle Bob, or whatever. She's like, we're going to need a search warrant. You ever heard of Peacemaker? And he's like, come on in. So then these two are driving and everything, and he gets a message from him. He's like, hardcore added you to the group 11th Street Kids. And then she also added this guy, a diebeard, and then she also added Vigilante. And they all get the same text. It's them, a picture of them rocking it out in the van. And Peacemaker spends back the woo and everything, the praise, whatever. What's his face says, but Diebeard says, so fucking cool. And then Vigilante sends back the merman. And then she's like, why a merman? He's like, he says it stands for like all these emotions all at once. She's like, that's like every emoji. He's like, yeah, he says it's hypnotic or something like that. I can't remember. He's like, you want a drink? And she's like, you did not just ask me for a drink. So then he comes and he brings her a drink, and it's called the Peacemaker or the Peace Train. Okay, so then this is what it is. It's one gin. His is now. This is what it really is. Hold on, let me pull this up. So this is what it is supposed to be, but he had a different recipe. Like he had like some kind of cheese in it, and that's not what it is. So this is what it really is, and I was like, maybe I should try this. Sorry, because I'm like, why not? Kind of thing. So I think I'm going to try this weekend, this little beverage right here called the Peace Train recipe. Who doesn't love gin and apple brandy? Sounds delicious. So he makes it wrong, and they drink it. And she's like, She's like, you gave me like a piss drink and everything. And he drinks it, and he's like, And then he smells, he's like, yummy. She's like, you just got a beer. And so they're sitting there talking, and he's like, yeah, she called me hardcore, called me handsome. And she's like, how so? And she's like, and he was all like, basically like, you may be handsome, but you can't just do whatever you want because you're a piece of shit or something like that and everything. And I can't remember. And she's like, you're not a bad guy. She's like, if you just maybe take off the Peacemaker persona and just be Chris, maybe that'd be best. So then he goes and pees, and she hides the diary. And my thing about that is, I'm just curious as to what does the diary going to do? Like, what is it giving Peacemaker information that he just didn't know? Is it, his actual diary, but they planted stuff in it so it would, make him think certain things? I'm curious to see how the diary plays out. So she calls her wife, and she's like, she's like, I want you to know that I don't, want to use just this job kind of thing. She gets back, and he's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I can't sleep. So she's sitting there, and she sees the helmet, so she puts it on. She's like, X-ray vision activate. She starts seeing stuff, and she's like, whoa, and everything. Looks at her hands and everything, and she's like, Merm, you got to check this out. And she's like, oh, because she sees it. She sees the butterfly inside his head. She's like, oh, shoot. And he looks at her, and he's like, ah! And he runs after her, and she's running. And they're running. They run out to the alleyway, and she goes to turn to shoot him with the gun, but the gun falls. And then he pushes her on the ground, and then he's over top of her and everything. Like, he's ready to do something. And that's where the episode ends. Goes to black. And
again, I have to say, this episode was good. I liked it a lot. It had action in it, enough action that it pleased me. I appreciated everything they did. It gave me enough information to where I wasn't, I do want more, but not to the point where they didn't give me enough. They gave me just enough to keep me hanging on. And I really did like this episode. I really like this show. I think it's really, really good. And I'm excited for next week's episode, you guys. I really am. And I'm really happy that I have HBO Max to watch this because I really like this show. All right, you guys, that is my breakdown and review of this show. It's a little bit, different this week. I'm just having a rushed week and everything, a little busy and stuff. But yeah, so tell me, what do you guys think about this show? Do you like this show? Do you not like the show? Did you like this episode? You know, how do you feel about it? I liked the gorilla, but I kind of feel like it was kind of like a very gorilla garage situation, and I'm curious to see, you know, where this show goes, and you know, what are the butterflies, what is their end game, what's going on here, all that stuff. Tell me what you, and will we get to see his dad in his outfit, and will they fight? I think they're gonna fight. I think he's gonna kill his dad by the end. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what what do you who's your favorite character? Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys next week on my Peacemaker breakdown and review. You guys have a good day. Bye.